Ballantyne, host of Power to the People Pleasers, and I'm so excited to have my guest Emily here today. Welcome, Emily.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, this is wonderful. So, I consider myself to be fairly organized, but I'm pumped to learn from you today and to to pull out some of your wisdom. But before we jump into that, I was wondering if you could share what is your connection to this world of people pleasing?
Yeah, I was born a people pleaser. I have always wanted to please everyone in my life from for as long as I can remember. And I still am that way. But as I've gotten older, um, I'm not as much, I don't focus on it as much as I used to. And I think that, it's an age thing. I am over 50 and yeah, I don't care.
Big. That's wisdom, though, Emily. That's wisdom.
When you're in your 20s, you just want everything to be perfect and you want to be perfect and you want, and then your 30s kind of you realize that's not so much of the case. And then your 40s, you start really learning like, okay, what's really important. And yeah, when you turn 50, it's just like, whatever.
But isn't that like a beautiful gift, Emily? That you painting that picture is a beautiful gift of this is where wisdom happens,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
That's one of the beautiful parts of having to say you're over 50 is you have the
Yeah.
wisdom.
Yeah, I actually my link to that, you're bringing up this feeling for me of when I had my third child, who was 5 years after my first.
Oh, mine too.
We have one in the middle. Oh, fun.
Uh-huh.
It was people were like, almost like, "Who are you?" I was so different as a parent the third time around because I was more calm and I knew the things to worry about and the things that I didn't wanna worry about anymore, and that's kind of with people pleasing and age and everything, right?
Absolutely. I mean, don't ever talk to my three sons because my oldest, bless his heart, he like really got the short end of the stick. And then the youngest, of course, he was way more footloose and fancy free than the other two. But because again, I was tired and I just didn't care. And so but yeah, it that's just kind of how it always seems to work.
Mhm.
Of course, being
Mhm.
a brand new parent, you just, everything is textbook and oh no, the experts say this,
Oh.
this, this. And then by the time you have the third one, yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't even know the last time you had a bath. So,
I wanna ask you, do you think it's I'm a coach, right? So I look at people's words a lot, and I would say, you're a mom of 3. Is it possible that it's not that you care less, it's that you have a new perspective on what is important?
absolutely. And the
Yeah.
things that are important and the things
Yeah.
that you may have stressed out about before that are truly are
Mhm.
not as important as what you thought that they were or
Yeah.
what society made them seem to be.
Right. Right. So you're coming into more of your own space of personal wisdom, personal
Sure,
knowing, right? Yeah,
sure,
that's huge.
sure.
Huge. And I wanted to bring that up because I think sometimes we, label ourselves and put ourselves down of saying like, oh, I didn't care as much about my third. I think we are stepping in, whether it's people pleasing or kids, we're stepping in to being more authentically ourselves, right? Because we're not letting the
Absolutely.
other stuff
Mhm. Sure,
get in the way.
sure. I feel that now at the age that I am, and I mean, of course, my sons, they're all grown. I'm an empty nester, and so
Wow.
I'm a different space in life than others. But um, I've learned, I'm now more of who I truly am now than I was when I first became a mom. I kind of
Yep.
had this like made up version of who I was supposed to be or who I thought I was supposed to be. And now my quirkiness and just my real self, I mean, what you see is what you get. So,
I love it. I love it. Well, isn't that awesome? We're having a discussion about organization and those kinds of things, but there's a deeper conversation happening
sure.
here, which I
Sure.
love.
And,
About
and even that, I mean, as you're an online business owner. I am an online business owner. I have been mentored by many, as I'm sure you have too. And, even though what I do is giving guidance and wisdom to other women who are, in the same position that we are in with having an online business, you still have to be yourself.
Yes.
You still have to do what your gut, like what's authentic to you and aligned to you. And I have made many, many mistakes along the way in this
We
online
all have.
space. I have gotten some great mentoring, and I have gotten some not so great mentoring a few times. And so I'm at the point in my life and in my business that if it's not aligned with me and my beliefs, then and I use the word beliefs fairly loosely, more of like my values and my morals. If it's not aligned with me anymore, then see ya. I'm not
Yeah.
wasting time with that or money, and I've wasted a lot.
I think you're not alone with
I know I
business
am not
owners,
alone.
right?
No, I'm not. The more I talk to people, the more I realize, okay, I am not as dumb as I thought I might have been.
Well, this is part of the journey, right? This is part of the learning.
And I'm very real. I'm very honest. And I expect that from others. You don't always get that from others. And so, all of the other people out there in the online space that may promise all of these rainbows and unicorns, I'm not saying that they can't deliver on that, but the majority do not. And so I would like to change the view on mentors, because I do consider myself a mentor. I was a coach before, and now I am not, and we will get into all of that. But I came from the fitness world and industry, and now I am on the business side of it. But I don't want to promise someone something if I know I can't deliver it.
That's big. Yeah.
So, because integrity, reputation is very important to me.
So I'd love to know, you support boss babes who want to create time freedom and achieve their goals, systemizing their business. So tell me a little bit more of, one or two tips that you give to these women to help them, run their business and not be basically stampeded by their business.
Yes, because we've all, being stampeded by your business is definitely something very common. I've been there, some days I still am. It just, it just depends on how I wake up. But learning how to, I think that the biggest missing link is that when you decide to turn your passion into profits, because that is basically what you're doing, that's what I did. I had to have the mindset of I'm the boss. I am actually the CEO of my business. And I've never been in that position before. I've always had someone tell me what to do in work. And so when you flip that, and now you are in charge, there is no one telling you exactly what it is that you should do. Of course, if you hire a mentor, they guide you, they should be guiding you, but they're still not going to tell you how to run your business, because then, at the end of the day, it's your business. And I have to remind clients of that, that especially, and I also have to remind friends who I've made along the way in other groups that we've been coached with by a business coach or mentor, whatever you want to call it, that, and I do remind them, I'm like, that's just a piece of advice that they're giving us. It's not the end to do all of end alls. This is your business. So if it doesn't feel right to you, don't do it.
Yes.
And so what I go over with my clients is to help them flip that switch of becoming the CEO. They are in charge. They have only them, like, that's it. So if something doesn't go right, it's on them. And that's okay. I mean, no one's perfect. No one's business is perfect. We all make mistakes. And that's the beauty of it too, is the messy parts as well. So that is a tip that I give them to remind them I'm just here to teach and to guide. I'm not telling you what to do.
Yeah.
Um, and then my other tip is, I'm very passionate about what I do. I thrive on organization. I do. I am an
Yeah.
extremely, I am OCD. I admit it. And I became that way when I had children.
Okay.
Before that, absolutely not. But as structured as I am, though, I'm still on the opposite side of that, where I fly by the seat of my pants as well. So
Hmm. So where does that happen?
where that's just who I've always been. My
Ah.
mother has always said that I was her child that just would dive off the high dive before checking to see if the pool had water. And it is true. It is true. I'm yeah, that's just my nature.
I
It's like,
love
oh
it.
sure, I can do that. And I just go do it. Or at least
Yeah.
I attempt to try.
Mhm.
So again,
Mhm.
sometimes it's worked out really well, sometimes it hasn't.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I learned from my mistakes.
Yes, I love that. And you know what? The first tip that you gave really connected with me. I'm trying to think of what the saying was that I said to myself or I heard from somewhere, but it was this idea that because I no longer had a boss to please, to be held accountable to, report to, all of those concepts, was I showing up for myself, for my business, the way I had been showing up when I had to please others? Talk to me about that.
So that's, I love that because I've been in that position. I mean, to backtrack a little bit and to keep this short. So I was married for 17 years, had 3 children, was in a what I thought wonderful marriage, and then it abruptly just ended. And so my whole bubble just blew up. I was a stay-at-home mom. That was my job. That was my passion. And it truly was. I always had thought that I was put on earth to be a mother. And well, not always, but as I got older, I thought that. Anyway, marriage ended, and I remember my mother telling me, you have to go get a job. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, I already have a job. She's like, one that actually pays you money. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I liked I loved my little bubble that I was in. So anyway, so I had to go
Mhm.
get a job. Got a job. And along the way, now, I mean, that's been 15 years. So along those, say 14 years, I worked for other people.
Mm.
But in there, I always loved working out and being as healthy-ish as I could be. And
Yeah.
so I became a personal trainer,
Mm.
just as kind of like a side thing. And so I did that for a while. And then of course, like everybody else, COVID happened. I had to, so I finally decided to pivot into the online world. Created my online fitness business, still worked 9 to 5, um, and did that. But my
Mhm.
9 to 5 was the last 9 to 5 that I was in. Was an extremely toxic environment,
Mhm.
and that's a story for another day. But so last May, I decided while I was on a vacation that I had already drawn up my resignation letter, though. And I returned from vacation. I turned in my resignation effective like that second,
Mhm.
and left because I was undervalued, I was underappreciated, and I was told things that just you can't take back.
Mhm.
So I decided, you know what? It's now or never. So again, jumping off the high dive, I
Mhm.
left my consistent paycheck
Mhm.
and dove right into my fitness business. But along the way, I had felt a little bit of disconnect. And so what I did is I decided I needed to figure out what my superpower was, because we
Mhm.
all have one.
Mhm.
And my superpower was what I was doing for other people and getting paid for it. I was their time manager, their organizational person. I was, I was all of the things. And so I said to myself that, and I do also, I do my best thinking, soaking in the bathtub. So I'm soaking in the bathtub and it's like, I just get hit in the head. And it was like, this is what you do. This is what you're good at.
Mm.
Do it for other people. Help other people get good at it too.
Yeah.
And that is where organized business solutions came from. And so, and I totally forgot what your question was. I am so sorry.
Well, you know what? I think that you've shared a lot of things about transition here, making the leap into what's important. And I wanted to ask, you know, when we are in that state of feeling disorganized in business, where do you start with somebody who's feeling disorganized?
So we start with kind of auditing what
Mm.
your daily routine is.
Mhm.
And, so many of us, we love to say, I don't have time. I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time. Well, we all have the same amount of time. We all get 24 hours every single day, but how we use it
Mm.
is all different, obviously. And so I do a time audit to see, there's no right or wrong. It's just tell me what you do. From the
Yeah.
moment you wake up until the moment your eyes close, tell me what you do. And then we tweak it.
Mhm.
And, a lot of times, because I used this also even with my fitness clients, because again, they were like, I don't have time to work out. Everybody has time to work out. Everybody does. Everyone has 30 minutes. And so just by a few little tweaks and pivots, you can get back control of your time, but you have to do it in the right way. And of course, there is no really right or wrong way. Everyone is different.
Mhm.
I'm very energized and very focused in the morning. I'm not a night owl. I've never been a night person, but sometimes you may be a night person. So you have
Mhm.
to, and I talked about this in my live today, is that you work when your energy is the best. You own your own business. It's not a 9 to 5. If you want to
Yeah.
work from 4 a.m. to 10 a.m., do it.
Yeah.
If you can, get what you want to do in your business and grow it and make money within that time frame, fantastic.
Yeah.
And if you would prefer 3 p.m. to 9 p.m., well, then do it then.
Mhm.
So there's no rules. It's
Mhm.
whatever works best for you. So that's one of the first things that I do. And
Mhm.
then, we just slowly go from there. But time management is definitely the biggest component of my business and what I teach my clients for sure. And then comes the organization and the systems and the processes and the business planning as well.
Amazing.
But time
I've
management is definitely like
the big thing.
probably the biggest challenge or struggle that most women who own their own business have.
So what is your mentoring, your guidance that you would give someone who is continuing to say yes to all sorts of things
Mhm.
that are not building the business? There might be, and I'm using air quotes here, good reasons, but they're not building the business. What guidance are you giving that person?
So the first thing that I would give, and I talked about this again, especially for women, is we have to learn to say no. And that's very hard for a lot of women. I have no problem telling people no now. but it is. And I think we are hardwired. We are programmed to always, to always say yes. And that needs to stop, especially when it comes to your business. You are in control of it. So again, it's the setting boundaries, it's saying no. And that means setting that and saying no to clients as well. They do not run your business. And I have been in there. I let my fitness clients run my business, and that was a big problem. So I was doing, coaching calls at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. at night. I go to bed at 9 p.m. Okay. So it's teaching and guiding you how to take back control overall of the whole thing. And one of those things is saying no.
Yeah.
These are
Yeah.
my hours. Like, and time blocking is a huge component.
Mhm.
Like for me personally, and I mean, and I can show you like in my planner because this is like the best thing ever. But I have everything in my planner. I don't have to color code my planner anymore. I did though, but now I don't. But you grow to that. But for me, my morning time, so from the time I wake up, well, not right when I wake up, because I have non-negotiables as well within my own schedule, and everyone should. And so my non-negotiables are the gym and meditation. Like
Mm.
that is just not gonna, if it doesn't
Yeah.
happen, that's my choice, not because I, committed to something else.
Yeah.
So my day starts at 8 a.m. and I work in my business in the morning.
Mm.
And then after lunch until my day ends, which is usually about 4 p.m., 5 p.m., it just kind of depends, is when I'm available to do things like this
Mm.
for my clients, all of that. And so I block out that time. So this way, the rest of my afternoon, I can put myself out there to be seen, to be heard, and to help. Whereas in the morning, I'm all focused within my business. Does that make
Very
sense?
intentional. Yeah, that's very intentional.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
and by starting off just that way can be a game changer for a lot of
Mm.
people
Yeah.
because you are setting time blocks of, okay, I'm going to do this in this amount of time. And as you do it, and by working with me as well, you start to, your time block of I have to do all of these things starts to get smaller
Right.
because it just becomes efficient and it becomes a habit.
I love that. I love the creation of habit around organization. I love that. So as we wrap up here, you have a free giveaway, a 90-day action planner.
I
Tell me a
do.
little bit more
I
about
do.
that.
So, of course, we are about to, let's see, next Friday is the end of the first quarter. I mean, like, how did that happen? I have no idea. Because
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't remember what happened in February except Mardi Gras, because where I live outside of New Orleans, and Mardi Gras is like a religion.
The thing.
But so it's like, oh my gosh, the end of the first quarter is already here, and a lot of people, time sneaks up on us. And so this planner will help you with very simple and easy steps on creating what you want to achieve, your goals, whether, business related or life related, your desires. What is it that you want to achieve at the end of 90 days? Because 90 days, you can achieve a lot
Mm.
in 90 days if
Yeah.
you put it all down on a piece of paper. I'm a very visual person. Again, I have a paper planner. I also have a digital planner, but my paper planner, if I see it, I'll do it.
Mm. Big.
And so my 90-day planner will help you do that for the next night, for the next quarter, or 90, however you want to call it.
Thank you. Thank you for giving the gift to our
Sure.
listeners, and I will put the link in the show notes so people can
Okay.
go and grab that there. Well, Emily, it was so great to hear from you, to hear your very deep passion for this topic and
Thank
your fun
you.
energy as well. It's been so great to
Thank
get to know
you.
you.
I appreciate you having me.
It was awesome. And for our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in again, and stay tuned for the next episode of Power to the People Pleaser.